Family of inventors, the Bernini is here. Now, the Bernini's, the Geyser family, I should say, designed and invented the first metal hose. We've seen all sorts of variations of metal hoses all over the market, but none like this one. It is absolutely wonderful, and we have seen the 50-inch, 70 or the 50-foot, 75-foot, and the 100-foot throughout the season. Now we have the 40-foot here with this No-Kink expanding metal hose with nozzle. $26.98 is the price on this one. 3 easy payments of $8.99. Now the cool thing here is that this hose is 40 feet when water is turned on. It is going to expand to that 40 feet, whoop, and then when the water is off and out, it shrinks down, collapses down, yep, to 25 feet in length. So really, your 40-foot hose is actually 25 feet when the water's not in it. And might I add, it's 3 pounds, 2 ounces, 12 ounces, 3 pounds, 12 ounces. It could not be any lighter. It is fantastic. In addition to the hose, you're also getting the adjustable fireman-style spray nozzle that's gonna give you that direct jet spray to that fine mist and everything in between. This is so wonderful. Jack Geyser is joining us to tell us all about this fantastic 40-foot hose. Hello, my friend. How you doing out there?
I'm doing really well. It's great to be here, and it's great to be showing everybody the amazing 40-foot expanding garden hose again. I mean, this thing, what I love most about it, and I think this is an experience we've all had, is when we say kink-free, and I know a lot of hoses out there will say kink-free, but a lot of hoses will still end up getting these. Now, these are real kinks. These are the knuckles. These are the bends that will never go away. This is what always plagues your hose whenever you're going out to go and garden, because if you look at that, it's never going back. It's never getting its full flow back. So we have to throw those away. And what we want to move to is we want to move to a hose that never kinks. We want to move to a hose that is truly no kink. We want a hose that's flexible enough to literally be tied into knots and still flow perfectly fine. So as you can see here, I've got one of our metal hoses tied up from spout to spigot. But if you'll look at that, we have the perfect flow of water control. So I have the fanning spray, I have the power wash, I have full control of the water. And that's what's so amazing about a metal hose, is that no matter what, you're always gonna have water flowing. Even when it's tied in knots, you still have a fully functioning hose. I
love that. Now, speaking of spout to spigot, I need to tell you about the colors that we have. So right now, the gray option is very, very popular. So that means that that gray part is going to go into the, you know, your spout, spigot, there you go. And then here is your fireman nozzle. We also have it available here in the center in that green. Nice, lovely forest green. Right over here is your blue option. And it looks like Jack's got the red over there. Oh, and there's a little closer view of what the red looks like. Well, this is fantastic. You've got that incredible fireman nozzle that's gonna give you, as Jack was just saying, that direct spray. Maybe you're hosing down the deck or the tires around the car, or you've got that fine mist for your blooms, your beautiful flowers that you're planting. If you could just walk us through what we're seeing here, Jack, that'd be great.
Yeah, so right there, that's the 2-in-1 capabilities. That's the direct spray you're talking about. So you get higher flow by going straight in there. And then this is the power coupler. So this is only with Bernini. Other metal hoses, they will have an issue when you pull them at a 90-degree angle on your spigot, they pop off. But we have a tension relief ability that keeps us from popping off your spigot, so there's no messes. I mean, look at that. You'd need a plumber to come fix that. That's a massive problem. But with a Bernini hose hooked on, you're never gonna have that issue. It's not gonna pop off your spigot. No issues, no plumbers need to be called. It just makes life easier, and it makes it so you don't have to worry about anything like that happening. Because that is a major flaw with metal hoses, but we have fixed it with only here on the QVC. But you know what was a major flaw with all hoses? Tearing, popping, snagging, all problems that happen when you get in around your fence post, when you get around your fences, when you get around your chicken wire, your barbed wire. Let's say you've got just your standard garden bed. Just the hard edges can oftentimes cause your hose to fray, to puncture, depending on what material you're using, except when you're using stainless steel. So this high-grade 304 stainless steel can stand up to the task of anything. And you might say, well, big deal, you know, if your hose doesn't fray when it's not got water in it. But except, I do have water flowing through it. I didn't pop my hose. I still have a perfectly functioning hose, and the water's going right where I want it to, on full blast. And you know what? I'll just dial it right back into a fanning spray. That's the power of that adjustable nozzle. You get everything from the fanning spray to the power wash. It's like having a little, you know, it's like having a pressure washer right on the end of your hose. That's the power that the additional nozzle gets you.
It's so true. And I mean, that makes going outside a lot easier and not such a hassle. Like, oh, I gotta wash my car. Well, when you've got a hose like this, it's like, oh, it's nice and easy. Or I gotta hose down the deck or go, you know, water the flowers, you name it. Nice and simple. Gray right now is very, very popular. Red, also very popular. But don't forget, we also have it available in the green and the blue. You are getting the hose and that fireman nozzle for $26.98, or those 3 easy payments of $8.99. A rubber hose cracks and kinks and punctures and is heavy. How many of us have a rubber hose that we've all gotten a fight with? And you know, once it kinks, it never goes back to how it used to be. And what you're seeing here is the durability here and how easy it is to go ahead and coil it back up and not have to worry about that sort of shape like getting all over the place. Right, Jack?
Exactly. You know, I knew somebody who had a rubber hose, and they told me that they would intentionally loop it as wide as possible to prevent it from kinking or having any issues.
Right.
You can coil these up. I mean, look at that. It's standing up to an angle grinder. You can coil, it's heat resistant, so it stays cooler in the sun than all other kinds of hoses, and that's because the stainless steel reflects UV light. But the reality is you can coil this up into as tight or in compact a shape as you want, and it won't affect the shape of the hose, it won't affect your water flow, and it's just so easy to keep around because it stays pretty much tangle-free. And to show you how easy it is to reel up, I know when I've had to use a rubber hose in the past and I want to get it back onto a hand-cranked reel like this, I usually have to stretch it out in a straight line. Otherwise, I'm gonna spend the entire time reeling it in, undoing knots and uncorking it. With this, I have it just spooled up a little bit off camera, but you'll see how quickly it comes right onto the reel and pretty much untangles itself. And then I know a lot of people have been doing this, if you get 2, they easily attach from one end to the other. And again, if you have an older Bernini hose or if you have another garden hose that you just don't want to get rid of, you can always add a Bernini hose to any of our older hoses or any hose that you have, because we have universal fittings attached. But look at this. I'm about to put on 80 feet of hose, and I think I spent more time talking than I did actually reeling in the hose.
Truly,
so
honestly.
That's, well, that's just how easy it is. It's so simple to reel back on and clean up. You don't have to spend hours fighting a 10-pound hose.
Right.
You can just reel it in easy and it slides right on.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I love that you just you said, you know, it's really easy to connect to if you're grabbing 2, because Jack, many people are grabbing 2 right now. Front yard, backyard, you name it. But then if you wanted to go ahead and connect both of them and maybe hit the side of the house or whatnot, you can do that nice and simple and easy. Right now, the gray is still very, very popular. So is the green. Actually, all the colors are popular. The blue, and on QVC.com, let's take a look at the red, which happens to be the most limited. $26.98, 3 easy payments of $8.99 to pick up this 40-foot No-Kink expanding metal hose with nozzle from Bernini, item M95294. Jack Yeiser, good to see you, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Have a good one.
You as well.
Well, still to come, we've got something very, very special from